I personally feel that this is probably the best band we can have right now because, A, we don't have, like, you know, a pretty boy playing guitar, you know. I mean, not that Marty's ugly, but, you know, it's like, you know, he's not into dippity doing his hair with mousse and shit like that, and B, you know, we have a real drummer that is a drummer first. He's not there for, like, you know, the sex and drugs that come along with rock and roll. Not that we're rock and roll, but you know what I mean. And I just feel, you know, I don't know how Dave feels about this, but I think for once we finally have a band where we have members that are equivalent to us at their instrument, not necessarily with the road smarts, because, you know, you need a lot of time to get like that. I mean, Dave and I have, like, gone through a lot of stuff together, you know. We've gotten in a lot of problems with other people, you know, and, you know, it's like, I would never have gotten, you know, as concerned about the last two guys. I'm trying not to say their names, and it's hard.
No extra publicity.
I guess I could say Dick and Duck and that would cover it, but you know, I would never have fought for them or stood up for them or anything like that. And the two new boys, it's like, you know, we just feel like we made the right decision. It took a while to get Nick actually into the band because he was sitting in the wings waiting for the last drummer to hang himself, and he basically did. You know, I mean, we needed to get like a serious hoist because the guy was kind of like to get him up in the air. But you know, anyways, getting a guitar player was the hardest thing for us.
Now it's like everybody can hold their own. You know, it's not so much about Dave and myself having to like keep the control over the band. Nick can hold his own, Marty can hold his own, and so it's four individuals that can make a band now instead of, you know, any type of like leadership like it used to be before.
Yeah, a lot of people say stuff like, oh yeah, well it's the Megadaves, you know, or even worse, they say it's Dave Mustaine's Megadeth, and I've always felt that, you know, this is Megadeth, or else it would be called Dave Mustaine's Ego Project, you know.
We were so, you know, so damn happy to be back in the studio again and be jamming. You know, it was good to be back in and doing that again, because it was like there was a lot of anticipation, there was a lot of, well, I hope we can pull this off. I hope we get it together. You really deep down inside knowing that we were going to, but it was just a lot of anticipation on getting it happening.
Well, there was moments for me where I was like pretty overwhelmed, you know, not so much as how great things were, but, you know, what kind of pressure it was, because before, you know, I'd figured, don't you know who I am? You know, hey, it doesn't matter if I play it right. I'm still me, okay, you know? You're lucky I'm playing on this record, you know, and I'm talking to myself. I'm going like, God, you're an idiot. You know, and now it's like I went in there and Mike Klink had produced the record, and, you know, I went in there with the attitude that I would take direction and you know, not me be the one that has the final say, which was hard for me. But I think my playing's improved. Basically being tracked, it's definitely better. I hope that I can carry that out live.
With this album, Nick had been in the band like, you know, going on a year actually by the time, you know, so the three of Dave, myself, and Nick had been very well rehearsed. The songs were all written. When Marty came in, we still rehearsed for a couple more months, and I know it sounds like a lot of rehearsing, but it was, and it paid off because we went in and we knew exactly what we wanted to do. It was almost like we'd been a band for a long time, you know, even though it actually only been a couple months that all four of us had been playing together. But you know, just listening back to this album and comparing it to the other albums, especially the last album, I hear a really dark, kind of cynical sound that comes across from that. And that's cool because that's kind of what it was at the time. I mean, I think every album kind of like reflects where we were at that time. And I listened to it and it's a real dark sound. And this album, I think, has a lot more kind of upbeat, really a lot heavier sound to it as well, you know, sonically, and I think our attitude that comes across on it is a lot more, it's not so down. It's a little bit more up and a little bit more energetic. Actually, a lot more energetic. I think a lot of that, too, comes from, you know, from Nick's drumming, too. He's got a lot of energy in his playing.
With this band, there's been one direction, always. And it doesn't matter who is behind that, what the energy is, you know, or where the actual thinking comes from. You know, as long as the direction is the same, you know, and whoever writes the music, if you know, someone else writes and contributes, that's fine. I've never, ever sat down and had a song just come out, you know, like that. That's for bands like Bon Jovi and Warrant to come up with these pop queer songs that, you know, just, you know, they can sit there and strum an acoustic and everything comes out fruity and la-la, you know. for me, a song has to be climactic. I think Rust in Peace to me is definitely indicative of the turmoil that we as humans have to deal with right now, having our global leaders playing Monopoly with our lifestyles, and their little war games have gotten a little bit serious when you think about one nuclear bomb ruining your whole day. I was driving home and I saw this bumper sticker that said Rust in Peace on it, and I just went like, light bulb science. Rest in peace. My idea behind that is that if the world ever did agree to have a global a system where we all survived under the moniker of being a peaceful world, all these weapons would be useless and they would therefore rust. But that's such a joke. That'll never happen. You know, I mean, unless Armageddon comes. It's like, see, like where I come from, the pigs walk around the streets. They're called peace officers. Why do they carry guns if they're peace officers? You know, I mean, it's so contradictory when you think about it. You know, to me, war's good for the economy, and money sucks. So to me, I learned a serious lesson when we were in Ireland about my mouth and the damage that it can do for me, because someone had misled me about what the IRA and the English are all about, you know, with the war that's going on between them. He said it was just the Catholics and the Protestants not getting along, and I'm thinking like to myself, that's bullshit, that's prejudiced religion, you know, and you know, me, Dave Mustaine, you know, big mouth galore, you know, I started thinking, well, I'm gonna like straighten all those people out, you know, and I said something, you know, and God damn. You know, I never had wished I could get back in my bed in Los Angeles so fast in my life. Hey, there you go.
I'll get it.
Holy Wars was written and conceived within a period of hours after that. And we had taken direction from that experience that killing for religion is so stupid. You know, I mean, if there's a good reason behind it, go ahead. I guess, you know, what can I say? I don't want to die, but, you know, it's like, the song itself is just, it stems around all the wars that are going on, and basically, what does war start from? Religion and women.